No more paradise islands on the equator or ski resorts. No more beaches or small quiet villages. Hurricanes and typhoons of incredible power sweep away everything in their path. Warriors have become even more destructive. One nuclear warhead can destroy half of the world's population. It sounds like the plot of another disaster movie, but I'm talking about our planet. In less than 10 minutes you will find out why what is happening right now under our feet can destroy the entire familiar world, why the dense forests of the Amazon can completely disappear, and the usual wind can cause millions of human victims, and moreover, there is generally a way from Antarctica to Uruguay, almost 150 million square kilometers of land, 361 million square kilometers of water. This is what the Earth was about 300 million years ago. Then on our planet there were no islands and separate continents, only the supercontinent Pangea and the huge ocean of Pangaea. Then Pangaea began to disintegrate, and after hundreds of millions of years of slow movement of lithospheric plates, we got the usual land. But this process did not stop. It continues to this day. The planet gradually changes its appearance every second. You can hardly notice this without special instruments, but 300 million years will pass and you will no longer recognize the Earth. According to scientists, over time, the movement of the continents will lead to the formation of a new supercontinent. It is called Pangaea Proxima. To see how this will happen, you will have to turn on fast rewind. The Atlantic and Indian Oceans will continue to expand until all continents come together in one place. Most likely, most of them will collide with Eurasia. But first North America will move to the west, Eurasia to the east, perhaps Great Britain will approach the North Pole, and Siberia will move south towards warm subtropical latitudes. It will become unusually hot and humid there. It is assumed that Africa will collide with Europe and the Arabian Peninsula. The Mediterranean Sea will completely disappear in its place. Huge mountains are formed whose peaks can possibly significantly exceed Everest. California will come close or very close to collide with Alaska, also creating new mountain ranges. Then the Atlantic Ocean will shrink. Antarctica will move north to Madagascar. In the end, North America will collide with Africa, and South America, as it were, will embrace it from the south side. To this the moment the Pacific Ocean will become so huge that it will take up half of the Earth. Of course, this is not the only scenario for the formation of a supercontinent. The world will completely change. Life on the future supercontinent will be severe earthquakes, volcanic activity, tsunamis, asteroids. All this would continue to threaten humanity. But the likelihood of being destroyed by something like that would become much less than the likelihood of falling victim to an incredibly powerful hurricane. These winds can destroy even the most durable skyscraper. If a supercontinent forms at the end of an active volcanic phase, then the atmosphere will be rich in carbon dioxide. Because of this, global warming will occur, which will heat up even the oceans, and we will get a planet where these huge tropical cyclones are raging hypergames 50% more powerful than the most terrible hurricanes of our time. Forget about that light breeze that is probably blowing outside the window of your house now. The winds will be hundreds of times stronger. To give you at least an approximate idea of this power, I will give an example. The 5th category Hurricane Irma, during which the wind speed reached 285 kilometers per hour. Waves up to 11 meters high hit the northern coast of Cuba, not the largest in history, but hardly anyone would want to visit nearby. Then a major natural disaster was declared in Florida. Millions of people were evacuated. As a result, the economic damage from the actions of the hurricane amounted to $77 billion. And now multiply all this by 1.5. Wind speed, waves, damage. And similar natural disasters will occur on Neopanga all the time. Perhaps, problems arose with the division of territories in such conditions. There is no time for agriculture and various production, but how much energy can be obtained with the help of wind generators? But just to put them, you will have to snatch at least a piece of land for yourself, and here real problems will begin. It seems to you that now humanity is somehow too belligerent. Conflicts in Neopanga will become commonplace. Humans are capable of inflicting much more harm on themselves than nature. Today, a person has fighters, intercontinental ballistic missiles, drones, various chemicals. The amount of what can send you to a meeting with your late great-grandmother is increasing every year, which already says about nuclear weapons or some particularly dangerous strain of the virus, and that's just the weapons that exist today. And what will they come up with in the future? A world in which the state is not divided by seas and oceans, where you have to constantly fight for resources and habitable territory. But this is some kind of ancient world, an amendment, an ancient world where there are nuclear warheads, and the population density is such that almost any infectious disease risks becoming a pandemic. And hurricanes, don't forget the constant hurricanes. But I have not yet talked about all the problems of the climate. To form Neopangea, the continents are likely to shift from the poles to the equator and change their position very much, which means that many countries will get a truly hellish climate. The tropics in the United States are easy, deserts instead of Brazil, but you have to get used to that. Portugal is in ice, even that is possible in Neopanga. Nigeria and Morocco would also be very cold, and the climate in Spain would not be different from Icelandic. But why are we talking about bad things all the time? The united supercontinent would have its advantages. For example, travel. From the noticeably warmer Antarctica to Uruguay it would be possible to reach on foot, and from Mexico to South Africa it would be easy to catch a ride. It is better not even to dream of any vacation on the Italian coast, unless of course you lover of extremely low temperatures. It will be frosty in Italy in 300 million years. Let's be honest, if the Pangaea still existed, or if it formed, you are unlikely to be happy, and to be honest, is a terrible scenario. The fact that Christopher Scottesi's hypothesis is just a hypothesis, and no one really knows what the lithospheric plate movement will turn out to be for the inhabitants of the Earth, the best news in this video. Perhaps you will be glad that in the huge ocean fish or other inhabitants will feel much better, because people will not have to cross it to get somewhere, which means less pollution and other negative impacts. But no. Life in the oceans is directly related to currents that saturate the water with oxygen and other nutrients. The currents depend on the location of the continents, and if they all gather in one place, the currents may cease to exist. There are no currents, there is no oxygen. Few people can survive in such water. Of course, I could have made a mistake in my research. I'm just the guy on the internet trying to tell you that science is damn interesting. Maybe after watching my videos, some of you will be so carried away by all this that one day they will make a real breakthrough, construct a rocket that will send to the distant borders of the universe, that you will not envy those who remain on our planet. I will not run ahead. This topic is one of my next videos, but for now, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and do not forget to write comments under this video.